Look, you know now that attention comes to Parliament when Parliament hosts and holds a special sitting of the two houses of Parliament, the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. The presiding officers have convened this special joint sitting starting at 2 o'clock on Monday to commemorate, to pay tribute and to celebrate the life of the late Mr. Nelson Mandela, the father of our nation. The gates of Parliament on Monday will open at 8 o'clock. We expect Parliament to be a hive of activity. If you walked out of this building now, you'll see that the whole precinct is transforming. It's taking on a completely different shape. And Monday is going to be a culmination, it's going to be a major highlight, internationally, nationally.
All right. So let's say I am a visitor and I come to Parliament. Where do I enter? What do I find once I am inside?
In fact, on Monday, you wouldn't be an ordinary visitor. You would be a special guest, because members of the public are encouraged, especially to come on Monday, as special guests of Parliament, to be part of the proceedings. When you enter Parliament at the main gates, you will encounter a completely different structure. There will be exhibitions, you know, in marquees that we're going to erect. In those exhibitions, you're going to find different materials, publications, public education materials. You're going to get special publications, you know, that are authored by a cross spectrum of people who are affected, touched in one or another way by Madiba. I'm talking about junior staff within the parliamentary officialdom, right through to very high political leaders, you know, in the persons of the former speakers, of the former presiding officers of Parliament, Madiba's contemporaries, and various other people who encountered Madiba in one or another way, sharing information, their experiences. Journalists are part of this, you know, about their experiences of Madiba, you know, stuff that would have you in stitches and things that would make you cry, you know. They are in those range of publications that are going to be available for free for people who come to Parliament on that day to collect and to read. But you're going to have a special exhibition as well, you know, on a pathway, you know, that forms itself as you come into Parliament. You know, we're using creatively different spaces, including the walls around Parliament, the pillars, you know, on the facade of the Houses of Parliament. You know, it's not just visual, impactful visual materials that we're talking about, but it's also, you know, they contain information, quips, quotable quotes, and other messages that Madiba shared with us while he was alive. On that wall, what is one of the most important highlights for me is that you're going to have an interactive wall of sorts where people can write messages for Madiba, you know, on the spot and share it, and that will be kept, you know, as part of the archive that we will look back at in remembering this day. It's a day like no other at Parliament on Monday. It's unprecedented. There's never been a day like we're going to have on Monday.
One of the things that Parliament has always, excuse me, that Parliament is stressing in this regard are the books of condolences. Tell us a little bit about those books.
We've got a total of 16 books of condolences. We would want, because we're expecting so many people, because we're encouraging everybody from all over the country, from all over the province, people from all walks of life, that they come in their diversity. We would like to afford them an opportunity to make entries into a record of history. Those books of condolences will be kept in the archive. We've got 16 of them that will spread all over the precinct of Parliament, in areas that are accessible to everybody, so that they can go and sign and write their message and how they remember Madiba, or anything that they want to write there at all. So those will be available from people on Monday. When you open the gates, they will find it, but it will be, like I say, spread out all over to make sure that we accommodate all the multitudes that we expect here, that they can leave their memories behind, you know, that we can keep it in the record and that it will be available for posterity.
We know that tomorrow has been declared a day of prayer. What happens to people who then maybe visit a church, come back after church and decide we'd like to go to Parliament? Although, is there an opportunity, will there be an opportunity for them to come to Parliament tomorrow on Sunday?
On Sunday, look, we're very busy, as you can see. There's a lot of work that's happening in a very short space of time. People have been here. People continue to work here 24 hours a day. So it's a bit cluttered at the moment. But nobody will be denied access to come to Parliament. In fact, we do have a book of condolences that is open already, that is available for people to come. But we would like to encourage people, particularly starting on Monday, because then we shall have finalized our plan and everything will be in place. And there will not be all the clutter that is happening. You see that media houses, everybody is setting up, readying themselves for the big day on Monday. But like I say, people who come tomorrow will not be turned away. They will be facilitated to go and sign the book of condolences. They must just appreciate that the security concerns. Tomorrow there will be a bit of a limited time, but starting on Monday, we open at 8, we close at 8. So it's 8 to 8 that will be open. And throughout that time, people can come in. They can experience the exhibitions, the special activities that we're going to have. They can come and just be part of the experience of being in Parliament, at Parliament, and they can sign those books at any time as they desire. All right.
So everything then starts on Monday with the joint sitting on that day. Absolutely. As well. But it's not limited to Monday, is it?
It's not limited to Monday. Look, we will have a program running, as was announced, up until after the funeral. So throughout this week, it's Madiba week. It's Madiba week. In fact, on Monday, very interestingly, members of staff, the acting secretary convened a meeting today. There were lots of reflections, people unified in their purpose, working for Madiba. There's a passion, there's a special energy, people realizing the meaning of us working in this way. Through the weekend, 24 hours a day, there was a request, an impassioned plea that members of staff, because they're going to be working through that time when there's special sitting to make sure that it is a success, that they need a moment also. And I like the observations, because the feeling is that by the time members of the public come to Parliament, by the time the members of Parliament themselves arrive at Parliament, remember Parliament is in recess, they'll be coming in here especially, they shall have livened up this space. There is a plan for members of staff of Parliament to assemble at a designated spot where they will have a session to reflect their own moment, to reflect and to remember Tata Mandela. And thereafter, led by the acting secretary to Parliament, Ms. Baby Kyawa, management of Parliament will go and lay flowers in memory of Madiba. And after that, it's back to work and making sure that Monday becomes the day that it will definitely be.
All right. It's afternoon now. It's Monday afternoon. The joint sitting is about to start. We've got people coming in from all walks of life, Cape Town, the rest of the country. The National Assembly is going to be a little bit too small, if my calculation is correct, to contain all of those numbers. What are the contingency plans for people coming to Parliament?
No, absolutely. I think what we may want to start with, by way of emphasis, is that we are appealing to people to come in their numbers, but to come early. There'll be no lack, there'll be no moment of boredom if they come early. There'll be enough to do. Just being at Parliament on that day transforms you, especially coming for the purpose as you are coming. But we would like members of the public to be seated at the different venues by 12:30, 12:30 in the afternoon, because it's important that everything is facilitated, that everything flows smoothly, and that members of Parliament are not hindered in executing their responsibility. They will go to the National Assembly. As you say, the gallery is a bit small, for the kind of numbers that we would like to see at Parliament on that day. It doesn't take too much over 750. So we have designated other areas, other venues at Parliament to contain and to accommodate the overspill. But also we'll be having screens outside and designate other spots, other areas within the precinct where people can follow the proceedings. At those venues, there will be audiovisual materials that will be played to keep people occupied, but also will be linking up simultaneously will be linking up live and beam the proceedings from the National Assembly for the people at the other venues also to be part of the experience as different speakers pay tribute to Madiba. The actual presentations by parties start at 2 and it will extend for 2.5 hours. So the session will adjourn around 4:30 in the afternoon on Monday.
Now, I'm not sure if you can divulge who who will be here on Monday to attend their special joint sitting, but are we expecting representatives or members of the Madiba family?
Oh, most definitely. The presiding officers have been particularly clear about about that aspect. This day is about Baba Madiba. The family of Baba Madiba is part of Baba Madiba. So the presiding officers will be inviting the representatives from the family to be part of this. There are various other people that Parliament will be inviting. We're expecting that we'll have the Chief Justice. We're expecting to have a number of representatives from the Diplomatic Corps. We're expecting people from all walks of life. But I think the key issue for Monday is that everyone is a special guest, members of the public. So we might highlight some of those categories, but everybody is a special guest on that day. And most importantly would be members of the public who will be in attendance.
All right. Mr. Jacobs, we do appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I hope on Monday we have a day to remember. And we hope on Monday we understand the meaning of Madiba when it comes to public participation, because you'll recall that it was Madiba who redefined protocol in this institution when he directed that the members of the public be accommodated as members of the State of the Nation Address, which is a flagship event of Parliament, steeped in protocol, but he redefined it to accommodate members of the public. That's the legacy that he left behind. And what a way of acknowledging that by inviting multitudes of our people from all over the country to be part of bidding farewell and saying thank you to Madiba, the father of our nation.
Well, that special